Hello everybody, I'd like to do a quick video on the care of carpet anemones. You know, on my videos I've had several different kinds of carpet anemones, but I just wanted to offer a few tips um, for success with these beautiful creatures. I absolutely love carpet anemones. In my tank I choose only to have one because, as you can see, this guy is probably, I'd say 1.5 feet or so from end to end. It's a red carpet anemone, red Haddoni, which they're kind of hard to come by, very expensive. I did get a pretty decent deal on it anyway, but they're very expensive. Um, First off, I always suggest that you have your tank set up for a good year before you consider a carpet anemone because they do require very stable water conditions. Also, like with this guy, I don't, you know, oh, another thing, this is a big point I like to make, and I've learned this the hard way, so that's why I'm talking from experience here. But if you're like somebody that, are constantly adjusting the flow on your, power heads or wave makers or whatever you're using for water movement and stuff, a carpet anemone is probably not for you. With carpet anemones, it seems like in the past, whenever I've changed the flow or messed with it or whatever else, I mean, sure enough, it's going to move. And carpet anemones don't move as much as bubble tip on the other end of my tank. These guys pretty much stay around their little bubble tip rock cave that I have going on. So if you guys like to mess with your flow and different things, then the carpet anemone is probably not for you, because when they move, if they do move, it's best, from my experience as well, to not try to dig them up and move them and relocate them and stuff, because it's extremely it can damage their foot. It's hard to get them off the glass because they'll bury their foot in the sand or under a rock, and it's very difficult. Also, like feeding. I may feed mine maybe once a month. Right now there's a little, and you can see him right there. He's a little porcelain crab that came as a hitchhiker living in this anemone. But there he is. So yeah, he like lives in the anemone. But I've had this guy for a few months now. And traded my purple one in for him. So anyway, yeah, I'm like a once a month feeder, maybe a little bit. I don't overdo it. Some people say every other day, some people once a week, and all that. But keep in mind that carpet anemones are they use their photosynthesis from the light. So as long as you have good light, of course I have the Ecotech light on my tank, and I put them under one of them. So, but anyway, they're great animals. For your reef tank. I'm not really concerned about it moving around, harming coral. They can, so that's something to keep in mind. But they come in a variety of colors: green, purple, blue, fluorescent green. Obviously, the better the color, the more expensive they get. So, there's a little Blenny doing a photo bomb here, I guess, or video bomb, trying to say hi. And other than that, they're pretty much straightforward. A lot of people have questions about feeding and stuff. And also, when you go to buy a new one, what I do is I go ahead and I don't. Some people drip acclimate. I don't drip. I know the fish stores where I buy my livestock, so I just float the bag for about 15 minutes to for temperature, and then I turn all the pumps off, power heads, all the water movement, everything off in the fish tank, and then I dig out a hole and I place his foot inside that hole, and then bury the foot back with sand. and then let him do what he has to do. You know, he'll move around till he's happy, you know. And they usually just choose a spot, you know, and that's what you know, he did. So he stays right there, and that's pretty much the gist of it. So other than that, that's about it. And again, you know, if you can feed, I mean, like I said, I'm a once a month feeder, if that. The more you feed, the bigger they grow, but it doesn't necessarily mean the healthier they get. So, in my opinion, you know, once a month is pretty good for, you know, I mean, I've gone as far as once a week, but, you know, you also might want to experiment with different kinds of food. They're, as funny as it sounds, they can be picky. Some like mysis, some don't. Some like krill, some don't. You know, whatever. Yeah, you might have to experiment with a few things. If they don't like it, they won't. They may eat it and spit it out, or their tentacles will just not grab onto it. Even though carpet anemones are very sticky, so that was probably the best thing to do. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a little insight on my thing, and again, the best thing to do is not mess with your wave makers, because that could cause it to move. And secondly, you know, just make sure and also make sure you get a nice healthy one at the fish store as well. You know, make sure it's attached to usually the glass or attached to something. And if it's attached to a rock, I would offer to buy the rock with the anemone, and not make the guy at the fish store try to remove it, because they could damage the foot too. And again, if it does move on you a little bit, it's better just to move corals or stuff out of its way than it is to try to pull the anemone, get the anemone's foot off of the glass or unstuck, because that's very difficult. And in my experience, has caused issues in anemones in the past. So, so that is about it for the old fish tank today. But I just wanted to do a quick video. And have you noticed I, have gotten some different corals. Angelfish like to eat all kinds of stuff, so you kind of got to watch what you get with angelfish. Well, that'll be for another video, though. But anyway, good luck and happy reefing, everybody.